Source: The Dangers in My Heart. Hey guys, welcome back to aniquickrecaps. Like and subscribe so you can get 100 girlfriends.
市川、ここに座って早く。お、水着だ。ね。山田の体温がなんでか知らんが勃起しそう。じゃーん。濡れちゃうでしょ。カーディガンのポケットに。もしもし、音聞こえない？見てくれる？
Ichikawa Kyutaru is reading a murder encyclopedia in class and feeling like he's messed up in the head. Meanwhile, his classmates are busy cracking toilet paper jokes, you know, the highbrow stuff. Ichikawa was so tormented that he even considers lashing out at a boy who accidentally bumps into him, but he quickly realizes that's not exactly the best idea. It's like he thinks he's the star of some twisted psychological thriller or something. I mean, come on Ichikawa, you're not the Joker, but he can't help but wonder when his bloodthirsty urges will finally subside. And then there's Anna Yamada, the apple of Ichikawa's eye, or more accurately, the target of his homicidal fantasies. She's the prettiest girl in school and a magazine model, but Ichikawa just wants to see her beautiful face writhing in pain. Yikes. He can hardly control himself when she glances at him, and he wants to make her regret ever looking down at him. Someone, please tell him to calm down. He thinks she will look just as gorgeous as a corpse and her body will belong to him. Why is he acting like a pervert now? He gets up and leaves because the classroom gets unbearably loud during lunch break. He enters the library and sees Anna sitting there alone having lunch. He uncomfortably walks in and she says something indistinguishable with her mouth full. Someone please teach the girl some manners. Nevertheless, Ichikawa pretends to understand and walks away from her. He is peeking at her through gaps in the bookshelves, wondering if this is his chance to kill her. He decides against it and just observes her as she finishes her rice cake and opens a bag of potato chips. Ichikawa is shocked since they just had lunch and she is now smiling and tapping as she finishes the party-sized packet of chips. Man, let a girl enjoy her food in peace. He turns around and starts thinking of ways to kill her, but she seems to be working on her presentation for social studies. Ichikawa notices that Anna doesn't use a pencil first for reference and directly uses pen to write. Thus, she ends up running out of space while writing the heading. Classic rookie mistake, however, he can't help but notice that she's looking for her box cutter and he considers lending it to her, until he realizes that might come off as a little creepy. Can't blame the guy for being cautious in today's world, right? He decides to take the risk anyway, and to his surprise, Anna is actually nice about it. She smiles and thanks him for decreasing her workload, and Ichikawa feels like he's on top of the world until he realizes that she hasn't returned the box cutter yet. Panic sets in as he frantically chases after her in the hallway. Of course, Anna's got her own problems to deal with, like her friend accusing her of hoarding snacks. Hey, who doesn't love a good snack, right? But Anna's a sweetheart and runs back to Ichikawa to give him the rest of the chips. Ichikawa thinks he's hit the jackpot with Anna's leftovers, but she quickly puts the packet directly over her mouth to get the last few chips out. That's not very laddie-like, but who can argue with a beautiful model? Her friend starts screaming about her making him do her dirty work, and Ichikawa slumps to the floor because he didn't get a chance to murder her. He spends the rest of the day thinking about his box cutter in her pencil case, but is surprised to find it on his desk the next day. He touches it, and it's still warm, making him believe she carried it in her hands all the way to school so she wouldn't forget. Who knew a box cutter could be so romantic? Their teacher announces it's time for them to give their group presentations, but Anna is confused when she sees the poster is different from what she prepared. Her friend told her she had redone it because Anna made it messy with food stains. She even used a chocolate stain to make it part of the heading. Ichikawa is furious since he thinks Anna worked hard on it and her friend is jealous of her beauty. He starts cursing girls in general for being devious, but he notices that Anna seems unbothered. Anna and her friend group go first and give their presentation while Ichikawa and his group go next talking about their research on sustainable resources. However, while he is giving his presentation, she seems quiet and starts crying. To make matters worse, Ichikawa's obsession with Anna has him thinking that the entire class is staring at her, when in reality they're just looking at a helicopter. Classic Ichikawa, but he's not going to let this moment pass him by, so he tears down his own poster to distract the class. Hey, whatever works, right? But here's the kicker, when he looks back at Anna, she's happily watching the helicopter. Talk about a plot twist. Ichikawa was more confused than ever, but hey, at least he got to make a dramatic statement in front of the class. Maybe next time he'll bring a helicopter of his own to really steal the show. Anna sits on Kobayashi's lap, and the boys behind MC start making sexual jokes about them. They want to be friends with benefits with Anna, but MC is not having any of it. He's ready to murder them as usual. One of the boys, Kanzaka, starts talking about how he's not into pretty girls and would prefer someone less attractive, like Hara. Poor Hara. Later, MC goes to the library and sees Anna there, enjoying some snacks. Hara enters because someone asked her to meet there, but she refuses Anna's offer of food because she's on a diet. Kanzaka then enters, and MC is hiding behind a shelf, afraid he might be about to ask Hara out. When Kanzaka finds out about Hara's diet, he tells her that he likes her just the way she is, and that she doesn't need to lose weight. Anna figures out what's going on, but then MC accidentally drops a book, making everyone suspicious of someone else's presence. They think it's a cat, so Anna starts coughing to signal to Ichikawa. He gets the hint and meows, and Anna gets up with the excuse to check what's happening but actually wants to help him. She finds him behind the bookshelf and starts mewing too, which makes Hara and Kanzaka burst out laughing. They become friends, united by their love of cats. Isn't that just perfect? MC is on his way home from school and decides to stop at the store to purchase the magazine that Anna has been featured in. But he doesn't want to go inside in his school uniform, so he changes into a heavy metal goth t-shirt, as one does. Once inside, he finds the magazine but is interrupted as Anna walks in. He runs and hides behind a shelf so she can't see him, like a true ninja. Two girls enter and show interest in buying the magazine, but Anna acts all awkward, trying to get them to notice her and fangirl around her. Unfortunately, they get uncomfortable and leave. Poor Anna, it's tough being famous. Undeterred, Anna stands with a pen in her hand, ready to give out autographs, but no one recognizes her. She even tries to place her magazine on top of another pile to get more people to buy it, but the shop attendants just fix it without paying attention to her. When she leaves dejectedly, MC realizes that she has a cringeworthy side to her personality as well. Feeling guilty for the two customers Anna scared off, Ichikawa buys the magazine and goes home to read it. But after seeing Anna's pictures, he throws those in the trash, pretending not to care. Of course, he can't help but see the magazine from the corner of his eye and stays up all night reading it. We've all been there, Ichikawa. Anna may not have gotten the attention she was hoping for at the store, but she'll always have Ichikawa to secretly obsess over her. The next day, while walking to school, Ichikawa sees Anna talking to another boy and immediately assumes he is her boyfriend. He accepts this fact as the way of the world and goes to stand next to them on the sidewalk. He overhears the boy, Haruya Nanjo, telling her about an app called Line and assumes he is hitting on her. Classic teenage jealousy. As they start walking, Ichikawa trails a short distance behind them, eavesdropping on their conversation. Not very good manners, but he can't help himself. Haruya asks Anna about her social media accounts, but she seems clueless about them. Ichikawa thinks she's playing dumb, because how could anyone not know about social media, especially a magazine model? Haruya persists, asking Anna how she stays in touch with her friends. Anna replies that they read each other's minds by tuning their brains to the same wavelength. Haruya is impressed and asks her to read his mind, but Anna distracts him by asking for ice cream. Priorities, right? Haruya continues to compliment Anna as he moves closer to her and calls her cute. He continues by calling her funny, and she is actually enjoying it as she asks for more. This only makes Ichikawa more miserable, and he falls further behind. Haruya insists Anna should know about Line so they can talk more. He even holds her hand, and she seems to respond positively because she doesn't let go, leaving Ichikawa's eyes wide open as he pretends not to care. Anna takes out her phone to install the app when Ichikawa has had enough and something snaps inside him. He cannot tolerate this open flirting any longer and decides to take action. In a brief moment of insanity, he sends his bike flying at full speed past Haruya and Anna, startling them both. Anna's friend Chi witnessed the whole incident since she was walking behind him, and everyone rushes over to see the bike, which has unfortunately landed in the water. She tells Anna that Ichikawa had intentionally sent his bike flying. Intrigued, Anna asks Ichikawa about what happened, but he's embarrassed, so he quickly tries to cover himself by saying he accidentally hit the gas instead of the brakes, gas on a bicycle. Anna starts laughing uncontrollably and calls Ichikawa funny, which of course makes time stop for him as he starts to feel butterflies and sees no one but Anna in his universe. The next day, Ichikawa goes through a book thinking, the world is built on lies and deception and he was born to bring an end to it all. I'm sure he tells his mom it's not just a phase. The apparent holy grounds of the school library is the only place to quell his vicious desires. He thinks it's a place meant only for him and no one else should dare to enter. I'm pretty sure the library's a place of learning for all students and he shouldn't be gatekeeping it. Yamada is sitting at a table. He's peeking at her through a shelf because he wants to kill her for being the prettiest. How unfortunate must it be to be so gorgeous? Not only kill her, but he also wants to crush her into yummy fluffy candy. Unbothered, Yamada is about to enjoy some grape-flavored naroon, but he criticizes her childish choices and for eating in the middle of the school day. He just can't keep his opinions to himself. She gets up and needs water to fill a tiny container but covers up her things before she leaves, since she's afraid someone might steal them. As if. Thus, Anna Yamada is an intruder on MC's holy ground. However, she doesn't return for some time, so he wonders what she's up to. Suddenly, she returns panting, so MC hides behind the shelf again. Seems like she spilled quite a bit and runs off again to get more. Realization strikes, and Ichikawa sees she spilled puddles of water on the floor of his holy site as he wipes it off furiously, wondering how many times she's refilled it. While he's on the floor, she shows up in front of him saying she would clean it up later, but runs off when she sees the time. Guess she's late for something as usual. He wonders why she just doesn't use a cup instead, but she have to go to the home room on the far end of the top floor, and with only 3 minutes of recess left, this seems impossible. Something strikes him as he dashes up the stairs to fetch a glass for her. He makes it back in time, but sees she's already mixed her naroon with water. The more that you mix it, the more it changes color and tastes more delicious. Yamada takes a bite and her eyes open wide in delight. She turns around and sees the glass in his hand, but there's no way he's going to let her think he got it for her, as he fills it and drinks water. She really thinks he's so refined, but once again hands him her trash from when she's finished eating and even allows him to keep it. No matter how hard he tries to act offended, he just can't help but feel happy. Back in class, he thinks about how she's stolen his precious time in his secret place once more. This can only mean one thing: he must eliminate her from this world as soon as possible. Yamada fans herself in the heat. Honestly, she's so bad at it that she keeps hitting her face. Her friend Kobayashi snatches the fawn from her because she's concerned Yamada is going to bruise herself. She really needs some depth perception. Yamada asks her to fawn her instead. Yeah, that's not happening, so Sakine Moko offers to do it instead. However, the group of 4 find themselves fanning each other, forming a perfect square. Poor Kobayashi ends up being fanned by Yamada and is hit at regular intervals. Ichikawa watches them but can't understand why she's always snacking alone as she has so many friends. Could it be that she's caught on to his murderous intent? Or is she planning to kill him off at the same library instead? He really needs to give his vivid imagination a break. Yamada is sweating profusely and wants someone to switch shirts with her. The perverted boys think they might finally catch a glimpse of the girls in their undergarments. One of them, Adaki Sho, plans to walk over to get a sneak peek. Meanwhile, Ichikawa tries to stop him using his telepathic communication skills. Obviously, they don't work, so he drops his pen as Adaki walks by. He picks it up and Ichikawa stalls him while the girls decide to leave and stand outside the teacher's room, hoping to catch some of the AC air leaking out. Ichikawa looks outside to see Kobayashi carrying Yamada on her back. She was unlucky enough to lose a game of rock, paper, scissors. He thinks Kobayashi isn't only her closest friend and considers her to be Yamada's boyfriend. Yamada offers her a lift too, but she refuses because she doesn't want to be embarrassed. Even though they come to school together, Yamada is always eating alone, and Ichikawa is certain it has something to do with her. She asks to borrow his hand fan and he complies. She fans herself, glad that it doesn't hit her face, and says that it smells good. She calls him over to sniff, but he finds himself staring at her sweat-soaked shirt instead and discovers she's wearing her swimsuit. He thinks she must be using it to hide her actual undergarments because they don't have swimming that particular day. Yamada receives a call from Moko at Ichikawa and is curious as to what she said. Whatever it was, it has Yamada acting quite weird as she hides under the table and urges him to be seated at the bench. He's confused but obeys as Kobayashi storms in asking if he's seen Yamada. Oh boy, she seems mad, but Ichikawa finds himself in a more difficult position as he can feel the warmth from Yamada between his legs. Kobayashi joins him at the table and thinks she might want the snacks. Yamada ought to just share them with her friends and offers her some. He discovers she's allergic to snack food and Yamada has a way of looking out for her, but not snacking in her presence. Kobayashi recalls a time when they were at her house together. She started wondering what was taking her so long in the bathroom, only to find her chomping off in the hallway. Our boy just received a big reality check when he learns her presence in the library has nothing to do with him. She's just looking out for her friend. Kobayashi continues on about how it's not fair that Yamada's got both the looks and the personality. Yamada can't help herself and uses MC's leg to support herself from below the table. She gives Kobayashi a ride on her back on their way out while MC is still in shock from her touch. Summer break is over and this weekend is the cultural event after the sports festival. The whole school's preparing for it and his class is doing a haunted house. Yamada asks MC to help out with the graveyard poster since she remembers he has nice handwriting. He can't believe she remembers that about him. He agrees and starts giving Hara instructions on the poster she's painting. However, he can't help but stare at her chest and wonder if it's real. He's starting to look a lot more perverted as he slowly inches towards her. Suddenly, Yamada pops up from a barrel beside them dressed as a ghost as he frantically apologizes. His conscience is truly guilty. Kobayashi criticizes Yamada's ghost performance, saying her scream was too cute, but Yamada thinks it worked since Ichikawa was so spooked. The two girls leave and Hara frustratedly sighs, saying it must be good to be slim like Yamada. He thinks to himself how everyone has their own assets. Hara leaves to empty the bucket of murky water and Yamada sees her name written on one of the tombstones. Ichikawa's imagination spirals again, thinking that Hara might really hate her and be jealous. Adaki grabs his collar asking if he wrote that, but he knows he has to cover for Hara or the other girls are going to be mean to her. He chivalrously accepts the blame. So, Adaki threatens to hit him, hoping to impress Yamada. Ichikawa knows he has to find a way out of this and starts spurting nonsense about how death is what saves them eventually. Meanwhile, Hara arrives and owns up to her actions, saying she was just writing down common last names and apologizes. The rest of her classmates see their names written too, and Hara offers to erase them as Adaki lets Ichikawa go. He helps Hara paint over them as Yamada apologizes to him. Without the names, the tombstones just feel incomplete, so Ichikawa writes his name on all of them. Of course, our brave protagonist doesn't fear death. He's washing paintbrushes at the sink, wondering what Yamada apologized for as she shows up once again behind him, debating if she'd look scarier as a bloody ghost. She starts using his paints as she owns them. But of course, he's not going to stop her and adds black to the red to help with a scarier effect. She tucks her hair behind her ear and offers her face for him to paint. He barely manages a single stroke before he leaves because he's too shy. Finally, the festival begins and Ichikawa thinks it's super lame with just a few research exhibits and performances by some clubs. Don't know what he's expecting from junior high students. It's the same as any other boring day. Maybe he'll just find himself in the bathroom playing phones on his game again, just like any other year. Suddenly, he hears a familiar voice as Haruya asks Yamada and her group of friends to roam around with him and his friends. Ichikawa is really expecting Kobayashi to act like a good boyfriend and turn them down. Moko agrees and they walk off. After all, Haruya was the first one who helped pull his bike out of the river. Moko continues to chatter, asking if he uses the line app when Ichikawa thinks Yamada's group is in a battle formation. He starts following them. No, it's not creepy at all. He even changes route when his original path is blocked by two gossiping girls. He ends up ahead of them and Yamada walks up to him, asking if the room he's just passed was any good. Not like he was paying attention as she enters. Inside, they find a map of the entire city spread on the floor, and Yamada spots her favorite snack shop and then her house. She asks where Ichikawa lives, and he points it out for her as she gauges it's just a little more than a kilometer away from her place. She accidentally takes a picture of them on his phone when she misunderstands his wanting to take a picture of the map. Kobayashi angrily arrives, asking where she's always sneaking away. The next day starts with our MC thinking of writing a book based on a boy who gets transported to another world. Why is it always about being isekai'd? The boy is cursed with black magic who dooms anything he touches. The design of the heroine looks familiar to Yamada. The MC then visits the nurse's office, even though he looks totally fine. There he sees Yamada lying next to the nurse's bed. The MC explains that he had a severe headache, that's why he's at the nurse's office. Yamada seems to have a stomachache due to eating too many candies. Yamada hands the MC a pill. The MC starts to get excited as he notices that he's going to drink from the same glass that Yamada's lips have touched. This kid needs some milk. But there he notices that Yamada left her shirt. The MC couldn't hold himself and he starts to sniff the shirt as the nurse hands him the shirt to return it. The MC repeatedly blames a creature inside his skull for his pervy actions. Later, the MC returns to his class where the boys, or should we say 12 years kids, would ask the girls if they touch themselves. A boy hands the MC a note and asks him to give it to Yamada. The MC swaps the note with his sketch and gives it to Yamada. Moments later, the MC continues his sketch. Meanwhile, the boys come up with a game that reveals someone's favorite sex position. The boy approaches the girls and asks them to hold his hand. The way the girls are going to hold his fist will reveal their favorite sex position. These kids and their theory. But a girl suspects him and asks him to do this test with his friends first. Well, that backfired. Anyways, the girls find various methods to touch his hand while the boys start to make weird assumptions. Later at the library, Yamada tries to open Ichikawa's fist to find her missing piece of candy. The MC also uses their theory and assumes Yamada's favorite position. Kid is getting brainwashed. Later on the basketball court, the coach asks the kids to split into a team of 5 people. Yamada refuses when her friend asks her to stand in the defense. Yamada has an upcoming photo shoot, so she needs to lose weight by running. She has curves, no idea what weight she is talking about. The MC then wonders how open Yamada is, but yet he doesn't know her well. The MC defines Yamada's personality as easy to murder. As the MC was still thinking, he got hit by the basketball. The MC was about to throw the ball in anger. It turns out Yamada was the one to throw that ball to Ichikawa. Ichikawa's rage immediately calms down and he returns the ball calmly. We all know where this is going. The MC notices that Yamada is staring at him while blushing. Yamada gets hit in the face by the basketball as she was distracted by looking at Ichikawa. Yamada's nose starts to bleed due to the hit. The MC starts to get worried as he sees the blood flowing from Ichikawa's nose. The coach then takes Yamada to the nurse's office along with Kobayashi. The MC secretly walks into the nurse's office. He gets shocked when the coach tends to call Yamada's parents. The situation seems a bit serious. The MC hides under the nurse's bed. The MC sees Yamada's bloody tissues. Hopefully the kid doesn't do anything pervy with that. While talking with her mother, Yamada starts to cry. Because due to her injury, Yamada can't go for the photo shoot. After seeing Yamada cry, the MC also starts to cry unintentionally. Yamada accidentally drops her stuff on the ground where the MC notices that she has framed his sketch. It touches Ichikawa's heart. That's when the MC realizes that he likes Yamada. Later in the classroom, the pervy boys gather together. One of the boys has Yamada's bloody tissue and starts to flex it. Are they really 12-year-old? That pisses the MC, and as he stands to confront them, the MC notices blood spots on his shirt. Turns out when the MC was crawling his way out of the nurse's office, his shirt got touched with Yamada's blood on the floor. The MC sits immediately while trying to hide the stains. The next day, Yamada shows up at the school with a bandage on her nose. Everyone approaches her and asks her what happened. Yamada tells everyone the reason. She gets tired of explaining it to everyone, so Kobayashi writes the reason why Yamada has an injured nose on the bandage so people would stop asking her. Yamada starts to cry and hugs Kobayashi as she still is sad due to the photo shoot. As Yamada is still hugging Kobayashi, the pervy boys start to get pervy thoughts. Duh. Moments later, the MC was walking into the school and he saw Yamada standing on the stairs. Yamada is still crying and she runs out of tissues. The MC wants to give her tissues to cry off, but he's too shy to hand her straight away. The MC goes to the library where he leaves multiple tissue packets. As Yamada picks up the tissue, but instead of wiping her tears, she cleans her hands after eating snacks. That made the MC happier as he saw Yamada smiling. Our MC is having thoughts about what he meant by saying, "I like her." He's confused if he loves her because he doesn't desire to go on a date with her or even spend romantic time with her. While having lunch, the MC notices that a girl is staring at Yamada. It was because Yamada was stealing milk. The MC follows her to the library where he realizes that the MC stole the milk pack so she could make naroon. Yup, that's the name of the candy which is added to the milk. Before Yamada would add the candy to the milk pack, the MC interrupts her and asks her to use a bowl from the ec room. Yamada asks the MC to bring the bowl in an orderly way. With hesitating, the MC runs to get the bowl. Where did that anti-simping personality go? Though halfway Yamada joins him, Yamada then claims herself as a chef, just for making naroon. The EC room seems to be locked, so they decide to steal a beaker from the science lab. Yamada dips Ichikawa's finger into the sweet dish so he could taste him while she drinks the whole. As Yamada is drinking the syrup, their teacher catches them in the lab. Yamada drops the syrup onto her thighs as she panics. The MC tries to explain to the teacher as the scenario seems a bit awkward. Later, while cleaning the school, a girl named Rin approaches Yamada, but before she could say anything, Yamada's handkerchief falls down the window and she runs down to get it. Rin's friend Serena tells her to apologize to Yamada for something she did unintentionally. Rin gets pissed and says that Serena has changed. Now all she does is hang over her, and Rin runs off. Moments later, the MC and Yamada are in the library. The MC notices that Rin is also standing there. Maybe she came to apologize. The MC tries to walk away as he wants to give them space. Yamada calls the MC and asks the MC to take a selfie with her so she may swap the faces with the new filter. The MC straight up denies her offer and runs outside the library where he meets Serena. Yamada calls Rin and shows her the picture. She doesn't even remember or care about what Rin did. Yamada takes a selfie with Rin using the swap filter and laughs. Rin starts to feel embarrassed and she suddenly starts to apologize. Turns out Rin was the one to hit the ball at Yamada's face. Yamada acts generously and even asks Rin for candies. As Rin walks out, Serena apologizes to Rin for forcing her to apologize. While walking home, Smarty literally is carrying his cycle. The MC notices the fact that everyone cares so much about Yamada's nose. The MC thinks it is because she's a model. As he was thinking, Yamada appeared next to him. Yamada asks for a lift. The MC seems shy, but he accepts to give her a lift. Yamada sits at the back of the cycle like how boys sit and asks him to drop her at Miroka's shop. The MC mentions that he is part of the data processing club, to which Yamada replies that she will also join the same club, as Yamada is not forbidden to play basketball by her parents. As they reach the shop, Yamada hands the MC a juice bottle. The MC seems surprised because Yamada barely shares that much. So the MC gives her the cap of the juice, which has a few drops in it. Yamada walks away with a blush. I mean, it is a high school romance after all. The next day, the teacher asks the class if they know who threw the candy wrappers at the library. Yamada straight up lies that it wasn't her, though it was obvious, so the teacher calls her to the office. The teacher got busy, so Yamada got off the hook for now. Later, the MC goes for lunch with his sister. The MC seems embarrassed to spend time with his sister. That's where Yamada and her friends walk next to Ichikawa. As Yamada's group is sitting behind the MC, he starts to eavesdrop on their conversation. The MC goes to buy more snacks, and that's where Yamada joins him. Yamada mentions that she wants to be friends with Ichikawa's sister. The MC then asks her why she came here, so Yamada starts to make excuses. Turns out Yamada came to the counter just so she could talk to Ichikawa. As the MC realizes that, he starts to panic while ordering. The MC buys an ice cream from Yamada, but gets too shy to hand it to her. Later at school, the MC seems to be looking for Yamada, but that's when she appears behind him. As Yamada is about to go to the teacher's office, she asks the MC to accompany her. The teacher accuses Yamada of bringing snacks to the school. Yamada seems to neglect these allegations. The MC starts to defend Yamada. My guy is straight up lying for Yamada. Even though they were caught red-handed in the library, the MC starts to trick the teacher, and as a result, they both walk off. The teacher seems happy as he sees the MC helping someone. As they walk into the hall, Yamada gives the MC a candy. The episode ends with Yamada asking the MC to talk more with her. The MC gets all red due to blushing. The class gets an assignment in which they have to visit multiple shops and write a report on them. The MC seems to be less interested because he wants to visit crime scenes or drug cartels types of places to make a report. The MC likes dark corners and murders type of research. The teacher asks the class to make a group of 6 students who share the same interests. As always, the MC sits all alone as he has no friends to make a group. The MC gets called out from the pervy boys group and they ask him to join them. The MC accepts their offer and joins them. The pervy boys notice that Yamada's group is still short of 2 members, so they immediately split their group. Now you know why I call them the pervy boys group. Oda and Adaki, 2 people of that pervy group, approach the girls and ask them to let them join. Yamada's friend Sakine immediately rejects him. The MC seems relieved. The girls are ready to take anyone in except for them. Sakine tells the boys that the girls will discuss and qualify 2 people that will join their group. The first person to get qualified by the girls is Kanzaki, but Kanzaki doesn't want to join their group. The MC suggests Kanzaki to join Hara's group, which is full of nerds and they will match his level. Kanzaki seems convinced, but now 3 people are left. The MC fights his way to join Yamada's group. She literally could just ask the girls and they would take the MC in. Adaki also succeeds in joining them. Later in the library, the MC is seeming to think that Yamada would find him desperate for the way he fitted his way in her group. Yamada then walks in with Hara while the MC watches them sneakily. Turns out Yamada sneaked in some snacks to eat with Hara. Wasn't she a model who cared about her weight? Hara rejects Yamada's offer and says that she's on a diet. She only came to the library to talk to her. Yamada starts to get excited because she realized that Hara came here for her and not for the food. Most probably she's excited because she doesn't have to share now. Turns out Kanzaki and Hara are sort of dating and Hara wishes to lose weight so she could look more pretty. The MC is eavesdropping on all their conversations. Hara tells Yamada that they went on a shopping date together. The pervy boy is making progress there. Hara then asks Yamada if she ever had a relationship. Yamada claims that she has never been in a relationship. That gives the MC a breath of relief. Yamada reveals that she has the urge to share a pair of earbuds if she ever had a boyfriend. Yamada takes a selfie with Hara, but in that picture, we can see the MC sneaking from behind. Kid got caught in 4K. Hara doesn't mind if the MC heard their conversation because he has no friends to share that information with. That must have hurt deeply. Later, when the MC is about to leave the school, it starts to rain. The MC wears his raincoat and he notices Yamada standing. Yamada asks to borrow Ichikawa's raincoat so she could go and buy herself an umbrella, and so she leaves. The MC notices that Yamada left her bag and wallet at the school, so he runs off to Yamada in the rain. Yamada asks the MC to take out her wallet from the bag, but as the MC puts his hand in the bag, he notices that she already has an umbrella. Yamada makes an excuse that the umbrella is broken. The MC then places her wallet in her pocket while both of them are blushing. Turns out Yamada lied so she could spend time with him and buy some snacks too. Yamada then returns and so she shares an ice cream with Ichikawa. The MC asks if she loves or hates the ice cream but gets distracted. Right when the MC leaves, Yamada shouts to him and says, "I'm practically in love." It is a mystery whether she was talking about the ice cream or herself. The next day, the whole group starts to visit various places for their report. At the manga store, where Adaki starts to ask pervert questions and even fantasies about an idol's chest size. We all saw that coming. At the manga store, they meet a writer who lets them take a peek at the unreleased Baki's manga, which excites Ichikawa. While returning from the manga store, the lifts get rushed with many people. Yamada seems to be standing too close to Ichikawa. In order to control himself, the MC closes his eyes. Damn, I can't believe he's the same guy who was sniffing her clothes a few episodes earlier. Though the MC could smell Yamada's fragrance and feel her breath. Anyway, as the lift reaches its destination, the MC opens his eyes and sees that Yamada is still standing so close to him, even after everyone leaves and the lift gets empty. They stare at each other for some moment and Yamada walks away. The MC and Yamada then walk together while talking about mangas. The MC then takes a washroom break, and as he comes back, he realizes that only Yamada is standing there. Turns out everyone took off on the subway because these two forgot to ask them to wait. So the MC and Yamada get left behind together. Now that the MC and Yamada got abandoned by their group mates, they start to panic. Yamada takes the whole blame onto her and starts to cry. Luckily, the next train would arrive in about 7 minutes. The MC starts to feel guilty, so he makes it up by buying Yamada a milk tea. The MC thinks that it's all his fault. He should have announced that he's about to take a bathroom break, which eventually makes Yamada laugh, and she cheers up, and so the train arrives. On the train, Yamada holds on to the MC so they won't split up. Yamada also mentions that Hara is having a secret relationship. She hints at the MC on having a secret relationship. Moments later, they catch up with their group. The next day, as the MC is riding to school, he realizes that he has begun to enjoy school. It is because he has started to like Yamada. Yamada seems to be waiting for the MC outside the school. As the MC arrives, Yamada hands him the manga that she previously mentioned. Yamada gets so excited that she spoils the whole manga for Ichikawa. Yamada walks back to the school gate so the MC wouldn't know that she was waiting just for him. Moments later, Yamada visits the MC at the library even though she was supposed to be busy with her work. Yamada notices that the MC is reading some other book and not her manga. She starts to force the MC to read that manga right now. She starts to drag Ichikawa's book, but gets tripped. Ichikawa's face bumps right into Yamada's chest. Talk about a dream come true moment. Both of them apologize to each other. As Yamada is about to leave, the MC stops her for no reason. Even the MC has no idea why he stopped her, so he starts to ask random questions. MC starts to read the manga as he reaches home. The next day at the school, the first thing Yamada asks the MC is about the manga. Yamada repeatedly keeps asking the MC about the manga, so the MC decides to read it at the school. As the MC starts to read the manga, he gets interrupted by Adaki. Adaki suspects the MC if he's dating Yamada, but the MC immediately covers it up by saying we're just classmates. Adaki seems to have a crush on Yamada. He keeps asking the MC about Yamada. Adaki realizes that he likes Yamada because he isn't able to shake to her. How does a 12-year-old even know about such stuff? According to Adaki, you cannot wonk to the girl you like. The MC starts to gain interest in the topic. The MC wonders if Adachi's theory is right. He is going to try wonking to Yamada. Adaki starts to adore Yamada's body, which grosses out the MC, and he walks out. The MC realizes that Adachi has always talked dirty about Yamada, but he never felt offended before. He questions himself because he has started to like her now. The MC walks into the class and sits next to Yamada. Ichikawa's eyes turn to Yamada's thighs unintentionally, so he walks out of the class. As the MC walks towards the library, he sees Yamada standing in agony. How did she even get there so fast? Yamada seems sad because the staff sets a new rule that eating in the library is not prohibited. Yamada believes that someone snitched the staff about her, and that's why they have set up this poster. The MC and Yamada start to wonder about the identity of the person who ratted them. Before calling out names and suspecting their class fellows, they decide to confront the library teacher. The library teacher mentions that she found a candy wrapper at the library, so she had to remind the kids about the rules. Moments later, while Yamada and the MC are sitting in the library, the MC wonders if this is the last time Yamada will ever come to the library. As Yamada was never interested in reading books, she only goes to the library to eat snacks. The MC wonders if that's the end of his bond with Yamada. At that exact moment, Yamada opens a pack of chocolate and starts to eat it. There's nothing that can stop this girl from eating. Yamada knew the rule of not eating in the library from the beginning. A poster doesn't affect Yamada. That's when the MC notices the library teacher walking behind Yamada, and she's about to get caught red-handedly. The teacher is about to look at Yamada. The MC starts to rush. As Yamada is about to take a bite of the chocolate, the MC immediately reaches out his hand and holds Yamada's hand. The chocolate gets hidden between their hands. The library teacher looks at them holding hands, so she immediately walks out to give them privacy. Do such teachers even exist? The MC then falls back while Yamada glares at him while blushing. The MC apologizes for holding her hand with consent. He explains that he did it to save her. The chocolate seems to be melted onto Yamada's hand. Yamada's expression seems to be complicated as she asks the MC to go away. Turns out she wanted to lick her hands, that's why she asked him to go. The MC walks out of the library in a stumbled manner, but the next day everything seemed back to the way it was. MC is at his home, using his laptop. He can't stop thinking about Yamada. MC then Googles Yamada's modeling name, which is Anna Aquino, and starts to stalk, though he gets pissed when he looks at the search bar where it says, Anna Aquino is ugly. MC starts to trash talk about the people on the internet, but that's when he notices the word Kolgaku. MC immediately starts to research it, and it turns out to be a TV show in which Yamada is featured. That show airs every Tuesday. That's where MC realizes that today is Tuesday and rushes towards their TV at home. Unfortunately, the show ends right before he reaches the TV. The next day, as everyone is getting ready for their marathon run, MC is continuously glaring at Yamada. He intends to keep their relationship to where it is. Anyways, as the marathon race is about to begin. As the race begins, everyone starts to run on their own. MC's misogynistic side appears as he realizes that Yamada is about to cross him in racing. MC boosts up his speed, and on the other hand, Yamada does the same. Soon after Yamada catches up to MC, she holds MC and asks him to slow down. But MC's pride wouldn't allow him, so he again runs ahead of her. As soon as Yamada takes off her gym shirt, MC's speed automatically gets slower, and so Yamada covers the distance. Can't blame the boy, Yamada used her wild card. MC can't help himself to stop staring at Yamada's chest, but he realizes that Yamada is wearing her shirt backward. As MC tells that to Yamada, instead of slowing down, Yamada flips her shirt while running. That trick doesn't slow Yamada down, instead, MC gets behind her to hide his boner. Yamada turns her head behind and sees MC's right eye for the first as he is running. Both of them get distracted by each other so much that they start to run out of the track. As a result, MC ends up in last place. As Yamada is sitting exhausted, she reaches out her hand to MC, and so MC holds her hand to give her a boost in standing up. And this kid was a misogynist before he saw those jiggles. Moments later in the classroom, even MC is confused about what to call that holding hand moment. As MC puts his phone down, he notices the name on the gym shirt, and that's where he realizes that he has switched gym shirt with Yamada. That's where MC eavesdrops on Yamada's friend discussing that wearing the clothes of your boyfriend is a love sign. At this point, MC wants to take back his gym shirt, but he doesn't find the right opportunity. MC notices that Yamada is wearing his gym shirt as the class begins. He starts to freak out that anyone can notice her at this point. As the lunch break begins, Yamada calls MC herself and takes him to the nurse's office to return his gym shirt. As Yamada takes off his shirt, she weirdly sniffs the shirt. Yamada takes MC to measure their heights. As Yamada is setting up the scales, his chest is pointed directly towards MC, so he takes a step back and asks Yamada to measure her height. MC had to use a chair to check on Yamada's height. The next day, as MC walks in the class, he notices everyone talking about Yamada appearing in a movie with a famous actor and director. MC notices that Yamada doesn't seem that excited. Anyways, as the class starts, the teacher asks everyone to pick a random number, and they would sit according to it. As the MC sits in his new spot, he starts to pray that Yamada would sit next to him, though Yamada does indeed sit close to MC but not next to him. As the lecture begins, MC gets in trouble when he tries to look at the board because Yamada is sitting at the front. Adaki gets lucky and ends up sitting next to Yamada, which pisses off the MC. Hara notices that MC is struggling, so she shares her notes so MC could copy them, though Yamada doesn't seem to be pleased by that. Yamada seems to be jealous of the MC for interacting with Hara, so MC calms her and says, "All I see is you." Both of them start to blush, and so Hara walks in. Moments later, MC and Yamada are sitting at the library. MC reveals that he has changed the sitting arrangements, and now Yamada shall sit where MC previously sat because he couldn't see the board. Poor Adaki. MC then tells Yamada to not be stressed about the movie. Yamada gets excited and asks MC if he's into movies. Yamada then reveals that her role in the movie is to be the daughter of the police officer who is chasing the main character. MC notices that Yamada sounds more cheerful than before. I guess she just wanted to share it with MC. Yamada tells her big line in the movie, which is, "You're such a creep." She starts to rehearse this line repeatedly while looking at MC. Everyone starts to look at them, so MC suggests Yamada go somewhere private. They end up sitting in the storage room while MC stands too close to Yamada due to the closed space. As MC says that he might go and see the movie, Yamada gets so happy to hear this as she walks out of the room. Later, MC watches the TV show in which Yamada is featured. MC starts to feel a bit sad when he notices that the show cut almost every scene in which Yamada is about to speak. The next day, MC sees Yamada telling her friends about her featuring in the show, even though MC thought that she might be uncomfortable sharing that detail. Few days later, Yamada was running towards Sakine and she seems very worried. Yamada explains that Kobayashi is having a cold, so she couldn't come to school. Yamada then sits on Sakine's lap. MC seems to be observing Yamada's behavior. To make Yamada move from Sakine's lap, she surprisingly attempts to grab Yamada's chest. As the girls are doing weird stuff, MC is trying his best to distract himself away from the girls' activities. Later, everyone seems to be stressed after the test. Yamada walks towards Kana and Yamada starts to compare herself to Kana, which kind of pisses Kana off. Moments later, MC and Yamada are doing group study in the library, but this time Kana also joins them. MC helps Kana and solves all her questions, though Yamada doesn't seem to be pleased by that.
ありがとう。